Welcome back, everybody. Am I doing a bunch of videos in one day? I am, because there's just like a lot of stuff I want to talk about. So you probably already saw my Indiana Jones review for the day. And today we are going to be talking about Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2. It just came out and I'm so happy. Guys, I'm just so happy. Now, I haven't done like an episode review in quite a while. So I've got a bunch of notes, as you can see right here. So I'm gonna try and do it, and just kind of vibe it out. Like, this one was definitely like a big introductory episode into like the entire world again, and I really liked it. I liked the amount of information we got. I like the characters that got introduced, characters that got reintroduced, and I just kind of want to go in it, like bit by bit here. And who knows, like, how long this episode will be, how long, each episode will be. I'll try and get these out like Thursday if I can, depending on my bar schedule. I know it's Saturday, so I'm sure you've already watched, tons of videos about this, but let's get into it. Starting after Jujutsu Kaisen 0, which was like the last piece of Jujutsu Kaisen we got, last year, and where Geto is the big bad and like, so hell-bent on the destruction of like normal people, where it's like, he calls them monkeys. He doesn't like anybody that can't see curses, doesn't have curse energy. Even if you're a sorcerer, like, he hates Maki because she can't see curses. And seeing him start the episode, like, if you didn't know this was a prequel, I'm sure it was like a little jarring for a lot of people. But like, seeing him start the episode and seeing like kind of his like almost sympathetic point of view of like absorbing a curse, how we like, he makes them into like this sphere and then swallows it, and that it tastes like a used rag that wiped up poop. I'm like, oh my God, that sounds awful. And then later on, when him and Gojo, this is where I want to start, is that it starts with that, and then later on, when him and Gojo are talking in the gym, and Gojo is sounding very much like Geto from Zero, where he's like, yeah, it's exhausting protecting the weak, and I don't want to do it anymore, and, sorcerers are better, people that use curse energy are better. And Geto's the one that's like, God, it's our job. That's literally our job. People with curse energy protect people without it. Sorcerers protect non-sorcerers. Like, that's our job. And it's like, that's so trippy to think of. It's like, when do they flip-flop? What happens, like, in this arc, possibly, or in wherever that this happens? Like, where their alliances and their, I don't want to say theology, ideology changes. And I'm really, really curious of like when that happens and how it happens. Because even in the prequel, like in the opening with Geto, he literally says like, it led me to this moment. And you see them from Zero, like, them standing in the crosswalk, and it seems like that's like where they like go their separate ways. And it's like, so they're hinting at that moment already, and we saw that moment in Zero, and so, like, when does it happen, and how does it happen, and why does it happen? And it's such, like, a good, just like that opening is good, and then that moment in the gym is good, where it's like, wait, this is stuff that Geto said in Zero, and now Gojo is saying it. It was such an interesting thing, and that's the thing, like, I remember people said that about the Demon Slayer opening, especially if they saw it in theaters, which people are so stupid. Like, seeing the Tengen and Gyutaro fight was worth the price of admission, and then it was like a good introductory episode of like dropping some Easter eggs, like letting you know where it's going. And I thought that's what this episode was perfect for it, is that you have, like, we see that it's a prequel. We see Mei and Utahime. Sorry, I'm so bad at names, guys. I'm really Utahime. I'm gonna call her you, because it's so bad. Just hearing me say it, I'm just like, oh, this is tough. But you see them like exploring like a house where like a rich person like killed himself and his family, so obviously there's a curse there. And I love their dynamic. May is still the same, or Mai is still the same, where all about the money, all about the Benjamins, baby. And I love that for her. She's getting charged extra. I love her new look with the tie and everything. And I wonder, because Yu is a second year and so is Mai, but it's just like, or maybe she's a third year. I should have wrote this down. But I know she's older than Gojo and them, but just like, I wonder why. I know she's a second grade, but I wonder how does she become principal when she's like this jumpy, just like doing like a routine kind of thing. But I can't blame her. Like that montage of her like opening each door, like like that would be me doing every single curse all the time. She's such a, like I wrote down, she's such a little dork, and I love her. Like I'm very, very curious of how she became principal and how she got the scar on her face. Like a lot of JJK people have scars on their faces, and I'm always curious of how they got them. Like even Geto like doesn't have like, you know, the scar right here that he has like in season 1. I'm like, oh, did he get like reincarnated, like lobotomized? I don't know. That whole sequence of like them figuring out the curse with the floor and everything, of them like, you know, breaking it apart, awesome. And it leads straight into the best introduction of Gojo that we could ever imagine. This man has been around in pop culture for barely 3 years. As an anime, I know people watch them, I know people read the manga, but like just like the way he has taken the world by storm, and the animators know it. Where it's just like, yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do it like that, and I love it, and it works, and it's well deserved. So that introduction, and it's a great opening too, a great opening song. It's tough because people love the first one so much. I love the second one. It's literally on my workout playlist. I listened to. I think it was like one of my most listened to in Spotify last year. So it's gonna be tough to top that. But I thought it was a great intro, and I'm probably only gonna like it more. And you just like, it's crazy. The intro made me think of just like, these are literal like high school kids that like, you know, you see them like on bikes, having fun, going to the mall, doing this, doing that. And then their job, or them going to school, is them destroying these huge like world conquering curses. It's like, oh, what a crazy, like, I know it's an anime, and that's kind of like every, like, you know, Demon Slayer is the same thing. Attack on Titan, you know, they're 15 through most of the anime. So it's like, it's pretty common in shonen anime, but it's just like, that intro really made me think of that, where it's like, oh yeah, they're just having fun, they're just being goofs, and then they gotta go fight curses now. I like that. What else do I got? Banger of an intro. And then, that when the curse appears, and then Geto's curse like goes to eat it, and he's like, I'll absorb it later. Like, that's, Geto's powers are terrifying to me, truly terrifying, where he just like controls curses. And we saw it in Zero. It's just like a part of his body, and it's like, and even this, you know, when like the explosion goes off and he wraps himself in a curse, and then as he's jumping out the window, he throws like those squid curses at the window. It's like, it's crazy to think how many curses he has absorbed. Like, you know, he said 2,000 in Zero, plus he had more to fight Kotsu. So it's crazy to think about, truly. Oh, my hair just went crazy. Speaking of curses, this hair is cursed. But then it's so funny, he does that, and then I love it. They do it in Demon Slayer. They don't do it in Attack on Titan, but they do it in Demon Slayer, where just like the derpy animation, and like he gets like his little squish walk while they're walking up the stairs, and then Yu and loves Choco, and I'm excited to see like their trio, their dynamic. But it's such a good like setup for everything, and I feel like I'm gonna just be repeating myself. It's such a perfect setup with like the principal, who's just their teacher right now. I wrote it down. What's his name? I thought I wrote it down. Did I not? I'm sorry. Well, the principal, you guys know what I'm talking about. And I literally say, weird saying, seeing Gojo say the same things Geto said in Zero. Very Dumbledore and Grindelwald vibes. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, seems like Gojo in his youth was very anti-non-sorcerer people and anti-non-curse energy people. And then something changed in him. He's still, the cocky, I am the strongest person ever. But something changed, like, in the way he views weaker people. And I like that. And I want to see what that is. I love that they tease like they're gonna fight in the gym, and that happens often because they are. It's crazy to think I wrote this down, or I thought I wrote this down. Didn't expect a Digimon reference. Love it. I thought I wrote this down, but I wonder what it's like for the principal, like, because Gojo clearly respects the principal or his teacher. And then, he gets punished by him. And then even in, like, in season 1, he, like, puts him in a headlock. And, like, he's clearly his, like, subservient, but subservient. But it's like, I wonder what it's like for the teacher to teach these 2 special grades in their second year. Like, it's Gojo and Geto, and even, Choco, who's, like, a first grade, and she's gonna become like a first grade like healer, like she uses curse energy to heal people. Like, it's crazy to think that like, I wonder what their dynamic is of just like how do you teach like 2 special grades. Like, it's crazy to think. I love that. I just like that dynamic. But the setup for this season, where this like immortal being Tengen, I love the name Tengen comes up again. Immortal being Tengen is running out of his mortal body, so he needs to transfer into a new mortal body, which is this young girl who we see in a bathtub for some reason, and that the other like evil curse users are going to kill this girl because if he doesn't get into a new body, he'll like, run rampant and lose control, lose like all willpower, and just become like cursed energy embodied, basically. Dope setup. Amazing setup. Love it. And then, obviously the end is like kind of like the setup for like the who they're gonna fight, and that's where you see Geto like just using curses like they're he's like just using his hands, and I love that. And you see like the preview of Toji, and he calls him Fushiguro, and it's like, oh, is that his dad? Is that Megumi's dad? I don't know. It's so crazy to see. And his Toji, it's Zeinen, and it's like it's the same clan as Maki. Like, it's enough stuff where like I'm sure any manga reader or anybody that's better than this at me, which is probably plenty of people, knows the answers to these questions. But I don't. I don't know the answers to these questions, and so it makes me very excited to find the answers to these questions. So a lot of rambling, guys. It's one episode. I'm going to try and get these out on Thursday night if I can. Let me check my work schedule right now, honestly. The 13th, I am off the 13th, which is, it's 5 days from now. Nice. So I should have this out Thursday. I don't think I'm going to do it like, I'm not a reactor. I'm not Otaku Mai, who does amazing content. I'm not a reactor. I'm just going to talk about it. So no like in watching reaction, but just talking about the episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you guys listening to me ramble and say Japanese names horribly. Bye.